Hey YouTube, League Turnover Day. I really don't like Fossil Cup, but it is Fossil Cup, Great League Edition, so 1500 CP. Good news is Open is on right now too, so top teams for that this afternoon. But we will be looking at teams for this. Why I don't like this? So one is a 3 typing meta. I really hate small typing meta. So the problem with the 3 typing meta is one of these typings is essentially useless. So water, rock, and steel. Rock is terrible because it takes super effective from water and then steel resists rock. So essentially you're just like rock is useless for the most part, which means you're down to a water and steel meta in which water will dominate the majority of time. And as you're going to see in the rankings, duo typings with water and a secondary typing dominates much more. So there are, because there's so much water, you have up high on the list, I'll just go over the grass at the start, because there's Kartana and Fairthorn as those half steel typings that are also half grass, right? So sneaking in because of the steel typing, not sneaking in, but in because of the steel typing, because this is so dominated by water, they are ranked so high because, again, actually grass also has super effective against rock, right? So super effective against rock, super effective against water. Huge there. So that's why they are ranked so high. Registeel is just a beast, right? I mean, there are a couple mud boys on here, but outside of that, Sap Cannon super effective against water, Focus Blast super effective against rock. So, and Registeel's just a beast, right? So another one where Registeel's top ranked. Outside of that, let's just go through Lucario first, because Lucario is a steel fighter, right? So fighter hitting super effective against rock and steel, and then just neutral in general against everything else on this list, right? There's a couple bugs on here, like Araquanid, but like outside of that, there's just, you're just hitting neutral for everything, if not super effective. Very glassy if you haven't used it, so just keep that in mind. I'll go over just the Mud Boys because Swamper's at 4 and 5, and then Quag is at 9 and 13, right? Mud Boy and Whiscash is at 17, right? So Mud Boys all over the place. Again, there is some grass, but very few. Outside of that, your that ground typing helps you against all the steels and the rock, right? Even more so. So Mud Boys just resisting most rock moves, most rock Pokemon, rock moves in particular. Great against the steels, plus some coverage move against other water Pokemon. So that is why they are so high. Other waters on this list, Pelipper, again, anything that has like has the option to hit neutral in all these other situations is strong, right? So the Wing Attack Hurricane, just so spammy after the Wing Attack buff that against other water Pokemon, where they can only, most of these can only throw water, not most of them, but some of them can only throw like water type moves at you. You just dominate there. So Ludicolo, I just looked at it. Ludicolo, even though it's a blue because it's water, it's running Razor Leaf. So just keep that in mind. It's a half grass, half water. So it's mostly running the grass typing here, even though it is in blue. Araquanid, again, as a half bug, to neutralize grass is nice, and you resist the water, right? And a bug also resists ground. So you have an answer for, you neutralize grass, you have an answer to water, you have an answer to the Mud Boys that are just essentially dry and dead. Well, not Quake, because Quake has Stone Edge, which do super effective, but otherwise just all around great. Jellicent, again, Jellicent's just a beast in general, tanky. Hex Shadow Ball, great, just great moveset in general. Lantern, same things. Having an electric and a water type meta is great, plus the Surf as a neutral, so it should be highly ranked up there. Poliwrath, I'm interested to see, when is this going live? Oh no, Community Day is not for a while. I was supposed to say, it would have been interesting to see with the counter Poliwhirl. No, counter Poliwrath, but we're not getting counter Poliwrath before this. But again, it's a fighter that is also water, so having those dynamic punches in general, great coverage for this meta. Sandslash, again, ever since Sandslash got the Drill Run buff, it's become super strong. Shadow Claw, Ice Punch, decent. You're going to need that Drill Run for most of these things here. Ice Punch is going to be kind of useless in general here, but Drill Run, great coverage. Cordeli, the only rock Pokemon, because it's a grass Pokemon, essentially. Right? You have Grass Bolt, Seed, and Grass Knot, which is great there. So, I did skip over Escav. Escav is your Bug Steel, right? So you neutralize the fighting with your Bug. Can counter hits great against rock and steel, and then Joran Megahorn for Joran's such a great move. So is Megahorn, quite honestly. So it's great Pokemon to use in general. So teams, let's just look at teams in the past that worked. Pelipper, Swampert, Lucario. Again, just kind of what I mentioned, right? Lucario is going to be weak to fighting. Pelipper is going to beat the fighter. Swampert's just good in general. Swampert is going to get lit up by the grass, but you have a flyer answer and a steel answer for the grass. Lucario is just sort of overpowered in general here. Just with the counter power punch, you can really ramp up with Lucario, and it'll get out of hand very fast. But very glassy. There's a very glassy team. But you can, between the wing attack, weather ball, and the mud shot, hydro cannons, and a shadow ball, like you're going to grab shields just as fast as you're going to use them. So pretty strong team, pretty spammy team, pretty glass cannon team if you're going to use that. Double grass. A counter user double grass. I mean, there's no real fire in this, which is good because you're really weak to fire here. But so Escav, again, as a counter user in two things in a meta that is weak to fighting in two of those three typings is super strong. I ran with acid spray. I just found that like Megahorn I wasn't using as much, but that if you acid spray and then the counter damage adds up twice as fast, it's a strong Pokemon to use. That you can use Megahorn though, it's fine. Ferrothorn is one of those Pokemon where again, having that secondary grass coverage in a water type meta is huge, and same thing with the Credilli. Having that grass type on the rock there, just great for coverage overall. You are double weak to fighting in the back, so you're trying to pull out like a Lucario or another fighter with these Pokemon, and then punish it with Escav, and then the other one roams free. Is essentially how you would use this team. Third team that he used, so Whiscash is on here for. I expect most people just to use the Quagsire now, right? There's no real reason to use Whiscash when you have Quagsire, which hits. It's just tankier, and you have the Stone Edge, which is just as nice as Blizzard, probably better than Blizzard, just given the energy generation. Escav again, I just went over, and then Walrein. I'm interested to see if this changes. So Walrein's nice because you have those sort of multiple grass other Pokemon, right? So you can at least neutralize it with your Powder Snow. You still have the Earthquake for the Steels, which is great. Earthquake for the Rock, which is great. Just Earthquake in general. Plus you're tanky. You're going to do well against most of those neutral water Pokemon. So that's why it was in before. I'm trying to think if there's anything that popped up now. Again, there is like the couple grass type Pokemon, but you hit for neutral with them. So it's not too bad. And a team I just put together, again, Registeel's at the top. So I'm like, let's just use Registeel to see how strong it is. Obviously, it is very strong because it is a super overbroken Pokemon. Your weaknesses are the Mud Boys. So cover it with a Razor Leafer. Ludicolo I used here. You can use another Razor Leafer. I just didn't want to use the other ones because Kartana and Ferrothorn are weak to fighting as well. So Ludicolo is half water, so it is not weak to fighting. So cover your weakness there. And then Jellicent is a pretty strong safe swap. Like Lantern's going to be the toughest answer, but outside of Lantern, you're just good in every single matchup, essentially. So that is a nice balanced team to run if you want to run, if you want a balanced team. That is it. I don't know if I'll play this meta. It's so tough with the Great League on. Like with the Great League open and so many busted Pokemon, it'd be so leave it in the description below. Comment below if you're playing this league or Open Great League, because I would like to know what to aim my videos for. I do have like 3 videos already for Great League from earlier in the season, so you will see those this week for sure. I've got to imagine I'm probably just going to play Great League, but if a ton of you in the comments say you're going to play this league, I will play this league for a couple times as well. But my guess is no. But let me know in the comments below. That is it. 3 typing meta where 1 is useless. Ugh, don't love it. Don't love it. Anyways, that's it. Thanks for watching. See you guys in the next one.